5 minutes, and I will be sending out a recording of it to everyone that's attended and all the people that registered but couldn't quite make it on time. If you do have any questions, please feel free to pop them into the chat window and I'll cover those off towards the end. We've got quite a comprehensive agenda where we're discussing around what are actually ISO standards in the first place, what is ISO 45001, and then we'll delve into the details of the presentation around the benefits to both employees and employers. And then I'll cover how CCS can help you implement ISO 45001 and help you implement a health and safety management system, a quick summary of the slides and a Q&A. But most of all, I'm going to be covering why is ISO 45001 so important. So let's dig in. So what actually are ISO standards? Now, the way I always think about it, it's a formula that describes the best way of doing something. Now, there are thousands of them out there. There are 24,000 nearly, and they cover virtually every aspect of technology, manufacturing, etc. Now, I race motorbikes, quite a dangerous thing to do, but luckily a lot of the ISO standards apply to motorcycles, everything from the tyres, the safety equipment, and it covers virtually everything to do with keeping me as safe and healthy as I possibly can be. It's a truly recognised global standard. There are over 165 member countries now that recognise ISO standards and the processes and procedures that are used to develop them. There's nearly 800 committees and subcommittees that look at how they can improve the way each ISO standards have done. And the way ISO is kind of split, I see it split into sort of two areas. The first area is the actual management system and actually having the standards defined within an organisation. And the second part is actually the certification. Now, I'll cover the types of certification a little bit later on in the presentation, but that is really the certification proves that you are then working to the standard, that you have implemented a management system like ISO 45001, and then you're actually working to that standard. And it's about making sure that you can maintain the quality, safety, and efficiency of products and services. And what we've found over the years is when things do go wrong, it often means that standards aren't there, that aren't present, that people aren't working to a defined process and procedure, and that's where mistakes and things can actually go wrong. Now, as I said, there's 24,000 ISOs out there. Believe it or not, there's even one for how you brew the perfect cup of tea. And that is ISO 3103 for anyone that wants to Google it and look it up. And if you're wondering, the actual brewing time should be 6 minutes, and milk should always be added after the water, which causes some controversy, and people say, no, you should put it in first, but that is the ISO standard for actually making a cup of tea. So it will cover virtually every aspect of your life is covered by ISO standards. But obviously, we're not here to talk about all 24,000 of them because we'll be here for a year, but we want to focus on ISO 45001. But what actually is it? It's obviously it's an international standard, because I've mentioned before, covered over 165 countries, and it's the requirements for an occupational health and safety management system. It's published by the Organisation for Standardization, or ISO as the TLA or three-letter acronym is known, and it provides a framework for businesses to establish or organisations implement and maintain effective systems for maintaining occupational health and safety. Now, it does have some key aspects in it. The first one is risk management, and it really emphasises a proactive approach to identifying and managing occupational health and safety risks, and that's within the workplace. And organisations are required to assess hazards and implement measures to prevent both accidents or injuries. Obviously, it helps with legal compliance, helps organise and ensure compliance with relevant occupational health and safety laws and regulations. And this includes understanding and addressing legal requirements related to the industry, as well as geographical location in which the organisation operates. Now, it encourages worker participation. and get them actively involved in the development and implementation of an occupational health and safety management system like ISO 45001. And it really aims to ensure that the perspectives and expertise of employees are considered in matters related to health and safety. And like all ISOs, whether it's health and safety, whether it's environmental, quality, information technology, etc., they're all around continuous improvement. And it promotes this culture of continuous improvement. And organisations are encouraged to regularly monitor, evaluate, but also enhance their occupational health and safety performance and their management system. But it's also about communication. It's a fundamental element of ISO 45001. And the standard really emphasises the need for clear communication channels regarding occupational health and safety, both within the organisation and also with external stakeholders. And then the management system itself is about having good documentation and also record keeping. And it requires organisations to establish and maintain documentation related to their occupation and health and safety management system. And this includes policies, procedures, and also records that can demonstrate compliance with the standard, that the organisation is meeting the standard. But let's talk around what are the specific benefits to actually employees within an organisation. I suppose when a company adopts or implements ISO 45001, employees can experience lots of different benefits related to their overall health and well-being. First one is the enhanced workplace safety. ISO 45001 focuses on identifying and mitigating occupational health and safety risks. This leads to a safer work environment, reduces the likelihood of accidents and injuries or work-related illnesses. Employees can perform their tasks with greater confidence in a workplace that is committed to their safety. It reduces the risk of occupational diseases, and it really emphasises a proactive risk management that helps prevent and control factors that could lead to occupational diseases. This is particularly important for employees working in industries where exposure to specific hazards such as respiratory and skin diseases from fumes and chemicals, etc., potential hearing from loud machinery, and also musculoskeletal disorders, or MSDs as they're known, which is down to poor ergonomics and repetitive tasks. These can cause MSDs such as back pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, and tendinitis. It also really helps with employee involvement. Encourage active participation by employees in the development and implementation of the management system. And involving employees in the decision-making process related to safety fosters a real sense of ownership and engagement. It defines clear communication channels. It really emphasises effective communication regarding health and safety matters. This ensures that all the employees are well informed about potential hazards, emergency procedures, protective measures, etc. And clear communication really contributes to a better informed and better prepared workforce. Also helps with training and awareness, one of the other major benefits, because it requires the organisation to provide training and awareness programs for employees. This really helps employees with the knowledge that the skills needed to perform their tasks safely, increases awareness, and enhances individual and collective safety consciousness. It really helps in making people aware of the potential hazards and dangers that could be in the workplace that they're actually working for. It also helps with the psychological well-being. ISO 45001 addresses psychological risks in the workplace. These may include stress, which a lot of us go through in the workplace, bullying, hopefully not, and harassment, which can contribute to mental health issues. It promotes a supportive environment, having effective communication channels, stress management programs, and mechanisms for addressing and resolving workplace conflicts. It also helps with reduced absenteeism. Improved safety measures and a focus on preventing accidents can lead to a decrease in workplace injuries. As a result, employees may experience reduced absenteeism due to illness or injury, contributing to a more stable and productive workforce. It helps improve morale and also job satisfaction. I would want to know that I'm working in a safe and supportive environment because that would boost my morale and my job satisfaction. Employees are more likely to feel valued and appreciated where their employee prioritises their health and safety and well-being. This proactive workplace culture can enhance overall job satisfaction. It also gives employees a sense of recognition and pride in their organisation. Because as ISO 45001 certification is globally recognised, employees can take pride in that fact that their business has achieved this certification, knowing that their employer is committed to meeting international standards for occupation health and safety. But what about the benefits to the business that employs them? There are lots of benefits for employers that adopt ISO 45001. There's obviously the risk reduction. It provides a systematic framework for identifying, assessing, and also managing occupational health and safety risks. And by proactively addressing these hazards, employees can reduce the risk of workplace accidents, injuries, and illnesses. And this really leads to a safer working environment all around for the business. Helps with legal compliance. Compliance with occupational health and safety laws and regulations is really crucial for businesses. And ISO 45001 helps employees ensure that their practice aligns with legal requirements. And this reduces the risk of potential fines, legal actions, reputational damage, and additional costs associated with incidents that happen in the workplace. Also boosts a company's reputation. As it's a globally recognised mark for health and safety, this can enhance the reputation of a company amongst their clients, other stakeholders, suppliers, investors, whoever it might be, because it demonstrates a responsible business practice. It helps businesses and employers improve their productivity. Obviously, a safe and healthier working environment contributes to improved employee and well-being and also their morale. This in turn can positively impact productivity, as employees are more engaged, focused, as well as motivated when they feel secure in their working environment, as well as obviously feeling safe as well. Now, there is cost saving associated with it. While there are initial costs associated with implementing ISO 45001, the long-term benefits can lead to cost saving. These include reduced healthcare expenses, lower insurance premiums, minimise costs related to accident investigations, legal proceedings, potential fines, etc. So there are serious cost savings to be had for both the businesses and the employers themselves. It helps keep your employees, it helps retain them within the business. It can contribute to a higher employee satisfaction and retention rates. Employees are more likely to stay with a company that prioritises their well-being, and this reduces turnover, but also the associated recruitment costs, because it is expensive and time-consuming to recruit employees because they've left because they don't feel safe in the environment that they're actually working in. It also helps with market competitiveness. It can give a business a competitive edge. It can differentiate against their peers in the industry. Many clients and partners prefer working with a certified company for ISO 45001, as it assures them of a commitment to high safety standards and opening up new business opportunities and partnerships as well. Also helps with the efficiency within the business. Because it encourages a systematic approach to managing processes for health and safety, it helps you, as I mentioned earlier, around the continuous improvement, around streamlining these processes and streamlining how the operation works, bringing in improved efficiencies, a reduction in the number of workplace incidents, and any potential disruption to a business that could affect delivery of products or services, or how they actually operate as an organisation. And obviously I've mentioned before, but it's that global recognition. ISO 45001 is an internationally recognized standard. And once a business has achieved this, it can enhance their company's global reputation and facilitate business with international markets where adherence to high safety standards is valued within those organizations. But it's also about continuous improvement. And the standard promotes a culture of continuous improvement. Employees can regularly assess and enhance their occupational health and safety management system, ensuring that it's effective, that it can adapt to how they work as an organisation and any changing circumstances. And they're the real sort of benefits to employers that ISO 45001 can bring. So as a business, we help organizations implement ISO 45001 as well as a whole host of other standards. So let's just cover a couple of minutes on how we can help you implement ISO 45001. Now, we support all of the companies in their 45001 or whichever ISO standard they actually want to move towards. And firstly, we have a management platform. This is a central repository for all the documentation, the processes, the procedures, the flowcharts, everything to do with the ISO 45001 standard. It's also got built-in workflow so people can set tasks, and it enables you to monitor your progress of one, if you're newly implementing it, but also we use this for customers that just want us to come on and help them manage their ISOs within the business around things like internal audit. So it will help manage the entire process from a management of the standard itself, but also how far down the line you are towards achieving it, if you're new to the ISO 45001, or how far you are in terms of keeping the standard in place and the continuous improvement that I spoke around earlier. We cover multiple standards. Obviously, today I've spoke around the benefits to employers and employees for 45001, but we also help organizations adopt and also manage quality management systems, 9001, environmental management systems, which is 14001, then information security, business continuity, IT service, and energy management, as well as a whole host of other standards. Now, all of our pricing is fixed fee, and this is regardless of how mature a business is. I don't mean how long they've actually been running, but how much process they've got in their organization, how complex they are, or how long it takes to implement the standard. We always offer guaranteed fixed fee pricing. We're there not to tell businesses how to run and how to operate. We just want to bring in efficiencies and that they work to the ISO standard, whichever standard they're actually adopting. We always assign an IRCA qualified consultant to work with our clients, and these are the International Register of Certified Auditors, and these are trained at the same level that an external that would come in and verify, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of certification, that you are working to the standard. It's okay having a really good management system that we will develop for you, but it's also, is the business working to the standard? But we simply look to ways to improve how you actually operate and how you actually manage occupational health and safety risks. And we're looking to improve the way you currently operate and bring in the best practices of ISO 45001 to make sure, one, that you meet it, but two, that you can exceed it and look to continuously improve. But one of the key areas that we focus on is providing a full implementation. What we don't do is send you frequently asked questions or point you at a knowledge base and get you to write the processes or procedures to build your own management system. We do all the heavy lifting for you. And it's really to try and make sure that whatever standard, and obviously we're talking around 45001 here, whatever standard you want to adopt, that you get to certification on that journey and it's as trouble-free as it possibly can. And the way we do that is with a very simple 5-step process. First of all, we perform a gap analysis, and one of our consultants will either come on site or do it remotely, where we'll go through the elements of ISO 45001 and look for areas where you don't have a process already, or what processes you have might not meet the standard, or you may have processes that meet the standard fully, and we'll collect all that information. Now, we've often found that a lot of, especially smaller businesses and mid-market businesses, a lot of the processes are in people's heads. So it's our consultants' job to get those out of how you operate as an organization, and then develop you ISO 45001 or any ISO standard compliant processes and procedures that you can adopt within the business. We then do the document development, where we will write the processes and procedures. We will develop and design you a management system, all in the ISO management platform. So you'll be able to track the progress of this documentation development and see where you are in the cycle, moving towards having a management system that is fit for purpose for you as a business and also meets the ISO standard. We then come back and present that to you. And go, here are the new processes based on the gap analysis, understanding how you operate and work as a business, and here are the processes. And that review meeting is there for twofold. One, it's to present back the new processes, get your feedback to make sure that you can work in that way. If we've had to maybe tweak one a little bit because maybe you weren't quite working to the ISO standard requirements, or something may have changed in your business between that period of doing the gap analysis and then presenting back to you. And then it's up to you then to adopt and then evidence that you are working to the standard. And we have a variety of services that can actually help you do that, for you to roll out the processes and procedures, make sure things like training registers are up to date, etc., that the risk register's up to date, and we can help you and support you on that adoption and evidence phase or step 4. Once you're ready, we can then go to certification. Now, with all our new ISO management systems that we develop, we include independent certification through QAS International, who are preferred independent certification company, and we include that free of charge within the consultancy to give you that first certification stamp, and it's what my business is certified with. But all of our management systems that we develop will meet both UCAS and IAS/IAF standards. So if you don't want to go for independent, maybe your industry specifies that you must be UCAS compliant, and on our website there's lots of information of the differences between the two and the types of organisations that move for UCAS. Typically, as a rule of thumb, if you're dealing with public sector organisations, UCAS is more widely accepted. Or speak to your clients and customers and ask them which ISO standard or certification they require from you, if it's a prerequisite from them for you to do business with them. I hope that makes sense. But all of our management systems will meet both UCAS and independent certification. We want to give you the flexibility and the freedom to choose the certification side that best works for you. What we also don't do is tie you into certification on long multi-year contracts. Now, I've worked with quite a few different organizations, and some of my clients are stuck in, believe it or not, 10-year contracts for certification with an independent certification company. Their customers are saying, we've got to move to UCAS. They want to move to UCAS. They have to, but the independent certification company that they got certified with before is saying, no, you've got to pay us for 10 years. So they're having to pay double costs on certification, which I think is abhorrent myself. We do not tie any organisation into any long-term contracts. You should have the flexibility and the freedom to choose whichever certification path you choose. But we can help you in choosing the right one, and then help you in selecting a UCAS certification body or an IAS/IAF, or if you're based over in the US, we work with what's called ANAB certification, which is the sort of kind of US equivalent of UCAS, or in Asia Pac, or any of the other certification bodies. Our goal really is to make sure that you can meet that certification by developing a great management system that works for you as a business, but also works for the standard, and then getting you the right levels of certification that is applicable to you as an organisation. Now, I've touched on these before, but we provide a whole host of other service wraps around our ISO implementation. Internal auditor training courses, whether that's online courses or classroom-based face-to-face courses, we can provide them. We can also provide managed service support to help organizations in adopting and evidencing the standard, but also help them in managing it going forward, where we're looking for continuous improvement, that we will sit in management meetings, we will do the internal audits for you. And it's really to free up resources within an organization to focus on what they do best, which is running the business, and let our consultants who have got many, many years industry experience looking for the best practices and ways of helping you add continual improvement into the business. We can also help with migration and integration services. We're currently migrating a lot of clients from the ISO 27001 2013 version to the 2022 version. And also helping organizations that maybe have multiple ISO standards, such as 9001 for quality, 14001 and 45001, and integrating those into a single management system. This enables reduced documentation, better internal audit processes, and saves organizations time, money, and effort in terms of having an integrated management system. And all I've said is, like I said earlier, we offer a fixed price investment quotation. You can go straight onto our website, fill in a form, and we will give you a guaranteed fixed price quotation for implementing any of the standards that we can actually cover, or to do migration or integration of standards, or our managed service as well. So I just want to sort of quickly summarize now around what we spoke around. It's the benefits that ISO 45001 particularly can bring to the employees. First off, it creates a safer, healthier, and more engaging work environment, fostering a real positive culture that contributes to the overall well-being and job satisfaction. For employers, it offers a range of benefits, including risk reduction, legal compliance, improved reputation, increased productivity, cost saving, and gives them a competitive advantage in the market. Now, there are a few steps that you can take next after this presentation. Further information, we've got lots of information on our website. We can provide references and case studies, etc. We can also offer a free ISO benefits review that is relative to the standard of your choice. It might be 45001, because that's what we're speaking around today, but it could be one of the other standards that we work. And it's really specific for your business, where we can look at the return on investment, we can look at what benefits you're likely to get, and go through in more detail the implementation process and the rollout process of ISO 45001 or any other standard. Or simply, we can arrange an investment proposal. Now, I see ISO not as a cost to a business, it's really an investment. It's an investment in the company itself, it's an investment in the employees, but also it's an investment in the future of the business, on how to grow it, how to maintain it, and how to make sure that it's running its optimum best, whether that's from a health and safety point of view, or a quality, or an information technology, or data security, cyber, etc., etc. And all our prices, like I said before, are fixed. And that's regardless of how long it takes to implement or how complex you are as a business. And that's it. What I want to do now is just quickly move over to any questions. Let me just change screen. Bear with me a second. Right, first question about, would you share the recording? Yes, I will be sharing the recording to make sure that everyone can get a copy of this. I'll also share the slides as well, so that you can get access to all the necessary links around the additional services. You might want to find a little bit more about ISO 45001. You can get all this information on our website, which is ccsrisk.com. And let's see if there's any more questions. No, that looks like there's no more questions. So I'd like to thank everyone that's attended today. I hope it's been a good use of your time. I wanted to try and keep it quite concise and relatively short, but really to sort of focus on the benefits to employees and employers alike, because ISO 45001 is one of those standards where it really addresses both of those needs for both employees and employers. So I'd like to thank everyone again for turning up and listening to this presentation. If you do have any further questions, please feel free to email. My email address is steves@ccsrisk.com, and I will endeavour to get back to you. So once again, thank you very much.